Hey guys, welcome back to 14s because we are 14s and this podcast is 14s. And today, my name is Lauren.
I'm Isabella.
Oh, hi, I'm Gloria.
And if you're not eating fake cheese product right now, go get fake cheese product.
Every single time I call you, it's just you telling me to eat different various foods. I don't have the time for this. And she's
Haley.
Yeah! And today, we are going to be talking about fears. Now, we're going to give you no context whatsoever, but we just had some interesting things go down. So,
all fears have been met in the
all
past
the fears have been met, and we are in some interesting moods right now. Haley's awoken from a nap. Isabella's back from her first day of in-person school in a long time. Gloria's mortified out of her mind, and I'm along for the ride. So,
Laura, I don't want to hear you talking about my state right now when we should just assess yours, okay?
Okay.
Okay.
All right. I want to ease into it with, we all have them, irrational fears. Weird ones in this group.
Getting sucked down a bathroom in a plane.
That's
Where would
irrational
you go? Bro, you just ball out.
I'd call that irrational. Yep.
Mhm.
Meets the requirement.
I have one, and I think about this on the daily. So everybody, close your eyes. Close them. Now imagine you're sitting in your bed.
I
You're
am.
laying there. Shh, shh, shh. Eyes closed. It's for listeners too. You're sitting in your bed. And suddenly the ground breaks from beneath you and you fall into the ocean. And you just keep falling and falling and falling into the ocean. And then
the middle of
the
nowhere.
megalodon.
We live in a landlocked state.
There are oceans underneath the surface of the earth. Did you know
How
that?
far are you going to dig till you get to an ocean in the middle of...
Really invalidating my irrational fear, and it hurts.
I am.
Oh wait, what did it happen? You just fall forever? What happens after that?
Into the ocean. Were you not paying attention?
The ocean. Did you say the megalodon? Because please tell me you didn't say the megalodon.
No, she
I
just
did.
the ocean. How
She
dare
did.
you?
She said it. Oh my gosh. Can I
Okay.
open my eyes now, please?
Yes, we've had our eyes open the past
Oh,
2
No.
minutes.
Open.
Keep your eyes closed, Lauren. Only one.
The whole episode.
I have a constant fear every time I go out in public, or like mostly like school things. But, like,
That's not irrational. Irrational is like falling in the middle of the ocean or being sucked down.
Don't let her finish.
She don't let me finish either, so I'm gonna do the same thing.
Oh my gosh. We are so passive aggressive with each other today.
I woke up from this nap and now I'm not even in the mood to play.
No.
We're 100% aggressive. That like if everyone else is wearing leggings and I'm like wearing jeans, and everyone's gonna shun me. Or like if I'm doing something like I will notice I will count how many people's hair is in a ponytail, how many people's hair is down, and if I'm like in the smaller minority, I freak out. There you go.
Got one word.
Aren't you
That's-
always kind of the minority in the situation? Though?
Okay, with things I can change, you racist.
To make
I
sure.
can't find a good template for fears. I feel like cute little emojis and then just writing fears over it is a little like too.
Just do a picture of the ocean. Lauren, do you want to see this video of this whale I found?
No, Haley, no. Yeah, just whales. That's it. That's
It's
all.
the
That's all I got.
freakiest thing I've ever seen in my life.
I don't want to hear it. I don't want to see it. Gloria sent me a text of like, it had a dot and then a line and then a dot and then just a bunch of blank space and then the tail from like the text being delivered, and it said whale. And
I'll send the video to
don't send
Gloria.
the video. I'm gonna watch it and then I'm gonna cry. So just don't send the video.
This is the most chaotic episode, and that's saying a lot for us. So Lauren's afraid of whales, Haley's afraid of the ocean, Isabella's afraid of plane toilets, and I'm afraid of people. Thank you for coming to the school team.
Okay, can we talk about what everyone thinks is a crazy fear, but is not a crazy fear and is perfectly 100% rational?
Sure.
My fear of rabbits.
Oh, I
No,
forgot about
that's
that.
not true.
That is the most irrational fear.
I have a rabbit stuffed animal next to me right now.
Yeah, so do I, in my closet. Doesn't mean I like them. They're scary.
A bunny is the legit cutest, cuddliest thing.
Bruh, I hate whales.
Oh, no.
Mhm.
Oh, trigger warning. Just this us. Trigger warning for us.
Yeah, don't rewatch this episode. We're just gonna have all the fears.
Well, yeah, I'm already like.
I gotta edit this.
Gloria, if you're
Yeah.
rewatching this, future Gloria, when she's listening to this, just remember this was the day with the thingy on the thingy and the telling of the people and the do to do with. And
I hope we get this out.
The day with the moles.
the day with the moles.
You do not have an irrational fear. That's not what I meant. You don't have a traumatic experience. And they're bunnies.
Yes, they are bunnies, and I'm scared of them.
Anything to you. I
But
want to lock you in a room with one and just see.
No, Gloria.
that would be like me locking Lauren in a room with a whale.
That would mean death.
Gloria, look at the
She's dead.
videos of whales I sent you.
Okay, is the whale dead or is she dead? There's no way for these to coexist.
I don't like dead ones either.
Well, I guess anytime that she's in the ocean, she's technically in a vicinity of a whale.
Okay,
I'm never going to the ocean.
I'm not like afraid of whales, but if I was in a room with one, I'd be kind of like, that's a big animal. But I'm
If
not
they're in
afraid.
a room, there's a problem.
Yeah.
If I was face to face with one, because like I know, like obviously I don't want to like be. I kind of want to be Neil or whale. I don't know how to explain it. Like I never think I'm gonna see one, so I'm not afraid of them, especially in a landlocked state.
Why don't they have whales at aquariums?
Because
They
there
don't
are
think
oceans
not enough big
underneath
enough
the
space.
ground. And because of the oceans underneath the ground, we're gonna sink. And
That's what you
whales are
bitches
gonna
get. Like they
eat
get in
us.
aquariums and they always die or like kill themselves because like they're used to having all this space and now they're like, no matter how big you make it, they're still limited. The ocean is pretty much not
But
limited.
there are dolphins in the aquariums.
Dolphins
They're
are a lot
smaller.
smaller.
There are beluga whales in aquariums.
Whales are excuses for whales.
Are you afraid of beluga whales?
If it's smaller than me, I don't care.
No, humpback
Well, it's the
whales.
size of a dolphin.
No.
Beluga whales are cute. They have
That's
the
so
little.
funny. Their head is.
If they're bigger than me, I don't want to talk to them. I mean, I
Well,
guess
a
I wasn't
tiger's
gonna
bigger
anyway.
than you, but you're not afraid of tigers.
But they're not like bigger than me.
Girl, a tiger could eat you.
An elephant is bigger than you, but you're not afraid of elephants.
Oh my god, I want
Its
those
mouth isn't
questions-
bigger than me.
You know those questions where it's like, would you like an elephant-sized dog or a dog-sized elephant? Well, I want a dog-sized elephant. I just want a tiny little elephant.
Then what is it, my dog or your dog? Because I think it's more fun the size of my dog.
Yeah, like the size of Coco. Yeah, the little elephant.
But I also want a giant dog. Imagine being able to ride your dog. Not Coco, she got asthma. But like,
Not MJ, she got ribs.
if we got like Duke,
Duke, I love Duke.
imagine riding in on Duke is a German Shepherd, by the way. Hey, Saran, if you're listening.
Oh my
and
gosh, we love Duke.
You know what's a pretty fun thing to do? You know how once I was like editing Lauren, if you hear this, send me a Christmas tree. She did it. If we like tell people who we know should or do listen to send us things if they hear this, because then we know if they actually hear this. So Saran, if you're listening,
Oh, send us a picture of your dog.
yeah, send us a picture that we don't already have.
Yeah, we need a new one.
There's today's.
I have an album called Pets, and then none of them are mine. All right, let's talk about what do we think? Like, I want to talk about the evolution of fear. like what it stems from in our ancestry, and why we have irrational fears and kind of the emotion or the survival instinct that came along with it.
Was I supposed to prepare for this?
No.
Was I supposed to read a Wikipedia article?
Anyway,
Okay. I think irrational and rational fears come from a fear of the unknown, and I know that's a fear, but shut up. Because like it all stems back to death. Because like you're afraid of or pain. Because like you're afraid of rabbits because you think you're gonna die or like be in pain. You're afraid of whales because you think you're gonna die or be in pain. Same with Haley and the ocean. Me, I just think I'm gonna get severely judged and then die of mental pain. So like people are like, when pain happens, I don't like that. So like it's like a flu shot. You're more afraid of the pain of the like whatever pain I think is gonna happen in my brain when I get a flu shot is way worse than anything that ever happens. You're more afraid of like what you think's gonna happen because Lord, none of the names I wanted to say. Isabel, as much as like you're afraid of rabbits, I think you know somewhere that you're not actually going to die.
No, but the feeling I get when I see one is unmatched.
And like Lauren, you're a smart enough human to know that you probably will not face a whale in your life unless you choose to.
I have a theory.
Shut up. And Haley, I guess the ocean's kind of like everywhere, but you know, so
That's so helpful.
that one. But like we kind of all know, yeah, because I know no one cares if my hair's in a ponytail or not. But like somewhere deep inside, it's like, God does not love you. Shunned. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
Here's my theory on whales, first of all. My theory is that all deaths that are counted as like lost at sea or drowning in the ocean, they're not real.
Guys, I'm gonna cry.
They're not real.
Joe Biden's crying Joe Biden's crying.
Whale theory.
Okay, whale theory is that every death that is written down as lost at sea or drowned in the ocean, they were actually eaten by a whale.
Okay,
Have
so
you ever heard of sharks?
I'm so scared. The megalodon that Haley mentioned earlier has been the only thing in my brain since we started filming. I'm so scared. I know they're extinct.
Have you ever heard of that freaking anglerfish from Nemo? That's real. The one with the light on his head, that's real. So you were telling me that a freaking killer whale, like a whale shark. Okay, those are okay. What are like a blue whale, the like most harmless of the whales, like ate every single person to drown at sea. Not whatever the frick is in the Mariana Trench, not like piranhas, not every other giant fish in the ocean. Every single one was a whale.
Here's why I'm scared of whales. I think it's like kind of do because the whale is the biggest creature known to humankind. And obviously the ocean is however percent unexplored. So that's terrifying to me. The amount of humans that have been eaten by things that we don't even know what they are. And so just the massive size, like, okay, we went to New York and there was it's the Natural History something or other museum.
I've seen it. You're talking about.
And in it, there's a whale, a sculpture of a whale suspended from the ceiling with, I don't know how they keep it up there. It must weigh 20,000 tons, but it's hanging from the ceiling. And I hadn't developed my fear of whales yet when we went to New York. I left New York with the fear of whales because I looked and it's just the sheer and massive size.
That's how it happened?
What?
That's how it happened?
Yes. Yes. My entire body is as big as like its cavity. The wall in front of me right now is as big as a tooth.
I think you're really overestimating how big whales are.
No, these big of whales exist.
Their tooth is not the size of the wall of your room. I know that for a fact.
Yeah, there's whales that are that big. That's scary. My brain can't even comprehend. That's what I'm curious.
My dad, on the other hand, is obsessed with whales. We have a whale sculpture. And for Christmas, everybody got him whale-themed things. So I think you're just a little not all there, but we love you.
See, I don't even know where my fear of rabbits came from. It just kind of happened. My favorite stuffed animal when I was a wee tot was in fact a rabbit stuffed animal. And I don't know. I have no idea why I'm so afraid of them now.
I had a fear of museums until I was straight up 11. Birth to 11.
Birth.
Birth.
I believe, you know that thing where it's like, whatever your biggest fear now is like how you died in your past life. I believe that. I think I was a freaking plant in my last life.
How'd you upgrade so fast? The stages
That's not
of
how a caste system works.
the stages of Hinduism do not line up.
I think that I was another bunny in my past life, and then another bunny ate me, and that is how I'm here.
Okay. You know that like golf ball thing at like Epcot? Inside of it, isn't there like a museum of like not like a ride of like life? Like I swear there was like cavemen. Okay, that freaked me the frick out. I hated it.
It's so fun.
It's so scary. I like don't like. I hated the like big mammoths. Okay, so museums are dark. They have like 6 lights total, and they were always like, "Oh, here's a mummy that like there's a what's it called? Like a rumor that it's still alive." And I'm just looking at a real mum, like, and then they'll be like, "Oh yeah, here's a giant whale. I saw that too." And then they'll be like, "Oh, here's a giant woolly mammoth that's actually a real woolly mammoth that we stuffed." Okay, not those because they're dead too long ago. But like, there's like tigers and crap that are made of. They're taxidermy freaks me the frick out. It's a real animal that they're just filled with crap. That is disgusting and scary. So I'm a kid. I turned a corner and there's like a live action cougar in front of me, and it's not your mom. Like, what the? There's like. I just really did not like that. Like I could turn around any corner and there'd be a dead thing or like a skeleton. Like why? I like the Children's Museum. The Barbie exhibit was spectacular.
I agree.
I have a question.
Museums are not my favorite place.
I don't love museums either, but I have a question. On a scale from 1 to 10, how scared of the dark are you?
0.
7.5.
Okay, I think I used to be at a 8. I was like 11 when I started sleeping with my light off. Fun fact. Maybe even older. That's embarrassing. But now the internet knows. That's cool. But now I'm like a 2. Haley?
Mm.
On a scale from 1 to 10, how scared of the dark are you?
I'm not scared of the dark. I'm scared of the things that are in the dark.
Same thing.
Not really.
What number?
I don't know.
Like if you combine them into one thing.
Like 4, maybe.
What was a fear you've overcome?
There are museums. Not afraid of those anymore. Also, roller coasters.
Birds. I'm no longer afraid of birds. I used to be afraid of birds. Not anymore.
I think you don't like animals.
I have mine. I used to be afraid of being awake when my parents weren't. Haley, what's a fear you've overcome?
Not much. I don't really have one.
What's something you've gotten less afraid of?
Not a lot, because when I was a kid, I would always be afraid that, like, I'm always going to get left, and that's probably my biggest fear is that I'm going to be alone, that everybody's going to leave one day, and I thought it was getting better, but I guess, like, once you have, like, an issues with abandonment or whatever, they never really go away. But I guess I'm not really that scared of, like, walking down the stairs to my basement anymore. When I was a kid, I used to have to, like, climb up the stairs so fast because I thought, like, a zombie was going to, like, pull me back.
There's still a werewolf in my basement. There is a werewolf in my basement.
I don't like basements.
You hang out in your basement all the time, though.
Now I do. I didn't used to.
Like my old house was on a hill. Like half the basement was like actually in the ground, like most basements, and the other half wasn't. So there were these floor to ceiling doors that had windows in them, if that makes sense. So anytime you went up the stairs, you could see my entire like backyard. which like isn't that big of a deal if you think about it. But the second a bird moves, you can see it. And running up this, there was light peering in. So like if a moth landed on the window, like I don't like bugs that much. So like seeing a moth was gross as a 6-year-old, and like the thought that if there's something outside, I can see it and it could push its hands against the window and I'll see like the creepy man or whatever, like was terrifying.
Yes, that is terrible.
And
That's what my basement is. Great.
The stairs creaked. So when you ran back up, the stairs like freaking out, and you were like, no. Mm-mm.
Why do you think we're scared of basements?
I don't
It's
like
the dark. It's like what's scared. It's like you're not scared of the basement. You're scared of what's in the basement. You know.
I'm scared of the main floor when it's dark.
I'm wondering, like, because obviously a lot of fears stem from kind of the natural selection or the thing where if it harms you before reproduction age is encoded and passed down and like you evolve out of it. But so that's what I'm wondering, like, who hurt us? Like, what happened so often in the dark? I guess you would freeze to death or like get attacked. So maybe that's why.
I think the dark is where you're alone. Because when you were left to go to bed and it was a thunderstorm, that was the dark. And like as a baby, when you think about it, the only time your parents weren't with you as a newborn was when you're taking a nap in a dark room or at night in the dark. So like, obviously, I don't think I was like a baby, like with traumatic fears, and I don't like never will claim to have a traumatic life. Like I lived a pretty easy life. I know it's not over, but you know. But I just think if you really think about it, our entire life, the dark is when you're alone.
Yeah, that's true.
And we're obviously scared of being alone because that traces back to death.
Well, yeah, if you're 3 and you're alone, you're pretty useless. And at age 3, you kind of know that. Like you know that your parents do everything. So like, what do you like? You're like, if an intruder were to walk in right here, the first thing you do is scream for your parents. That's the only time your parents aren't with you. So you just correlate no parents in the dark, scared of the dark, or scared of not having your parents, whatever.
I
But you go.
I also think we don't like when we can't use our senses because our senses are what keep us safe. So if there's a situation where it's so loud that you can't hear anything, I get a little like not scared, but like kind of anxious about that. If I'm in a place so loud that I couldn't hear anything else or whatever. So at a concert or an airplane takeoff, whatever, I don't like those. And then when you can't see, that's the dark. When you can't, like, that's why paralysis is scary because you lose your sense of touch.
Or movement.
Sense of smell and sense of taste, I guess, really don't matter.
Yeah.
If you can smell a fire, I guess is the thing that would help. Why do we have the sense of taste? To know if something's poisonous?
To taste food.
To enjoy our food.
More like for fun.
That's weird. I don't think anything in us is
You
made.
don't need your sense of touch. If I had to lose a sense, I'd lose my sense of touch.
I'd lose my sense of smell.
What do I need to feel?
Everything around you. Like you couldn't type on your phone, you couldn't hold a
Yes,
pencil.
you just can't feel it. My body still moves and works the same way. So I'm touching my like Sherpa and it feels soft. I could still touch my Sherpa. I just couldn't feel the soft.
You wouldn't be able to like do this because you wouldn't be able to sorry, for those of you who don't know, I was touching my finger to my wrist. So like the people, you wouldn't be able to like make move. You wouldn't be able to know if you're holding it.
So my dad doesn't have feeling in one of his hands, right? Because of like an injury, like nerves got damaged or whatever. So he doesn't have feeling in one of his hands, right? So anything that is supposed to like, so like say he like pricked himself in that hand, he doesn't feel it in his hand. The pain receptors go to his elbow. So he feels everything that he's supposed to feel in his hand on his elbow. It's really weird.
Well, like without your sense of touch, you can still move and touch everything. You can't feel it. It's really not a sense of touch, it's a sense of feel.
Yeah.
Because you're all your nerves are dead, not your ability.
Well, right, but you wouldn't be able. You would if you were gonna do something. You couldn't tie a bow. You couldn't tie your shoes. You couldn't pick up a pencil. You couldn't send a text while looking up. You couldn't do anything without looking.
My dad drives with his hand that doesn't have feeling.
It can, like if I'm looking at my hand holding the pencil, I can still wrap. That's more muscle memory. I just wouldn't feel the grip on my pencil.
Right, but you wouldn't if you didn't have touch receptors, you couldn't do this.
Technically true, but how often? I don't know.
I feel
I
like
mean,
you use it more than you know you
I
use
wouldn't
it.
want to be somewhere where everyone's like, "Oh my gosh, it smells so good," and you can't smell it, or like, "Taste this food, it's amazing," and you can't taste it. I'd rather like not be able to feel something soft.
You wouldn't be able to feel hugs. Imagine. You couldn't feel hugs.
I'd be okay.
I would
I would
not.
feel like know someone's hugging me.
Yeah, but you wouldn't be able to feel the hug.
I mean, like,
You also
in order
wouldn't
to not
feel
have touch receptors, like in order to not like feel touch, right? Some a part of your brain has to like be messed up.
Okay,
you
we're not
know?
talking about like how it would happen. We're just saying like it magically happened, I guess.
Yeah.
And then like you wouldn't feel pain either. So like I wouldn't feel my stomach aches and I like
No, I feel like you would feel your stomach aches because that has to do with your like internal
Yeah,
organs.
that's not touch. That's
not your
different.
touch.
dang it.
Like
Well-
you wouldn't feel like a cut on your arm. Like you
I mean,
wouldn't
like-
feel that. Or maybe you would feel a cut on your arm.
I think you would. I think you just wouldn't be able to use like I don't know. I think you would still feel pain, but you wouldn't feel touch.
Skin to skin contact.
You wouldn't feel touch, but you could feel pain, I think.
Yeah.
I
Well,
guess
like
it depends on what.
this is never gonna happen. If it does, we don't get to choose which sense.
Yeah.
we use.
Okay,
So
wait.
like, it doesn't matter, but like
Haley, you brought this up earlier. This would be interesting. What's a fear of you that's gotten worse?
Probably the fear of like losing people, but like that's everybody's fear. But I don't know. I can't really. I kind of block out my fears until like one of them happens or something sporadic happens. You know.
Is that helpful?
I don't really know.
Have you always done that?
Yeah, I think so.
You,
Since I was a
wouldn't really know
kid.
the other way.
The only like really big fear that I think about on like the day is like the thing with like the ocean. But that's whatever.
I think my fear of, well, first of all, like self-consciousness is just the fear of what other people think of you. I think that's obviously gotten worse, but just because you get older, that's natural. A lot of my fears have gotten better. I used to have really bad fear, like anxiety and things at night. And now that's a lot better. Like I can go to sleep without a problem. Just different coping mechanisms I've learned. And then I feel it's gotten worse though. I have a fear of people like knowing too much, I guess. I don't like sharing like a specific part of my like I don't it's hard to have people know so much about you, I think.
That's so weird to me because I'll tell like it's contrary to today. I don't really like have things that I think if people knew it would destroy me. Like I don't have like if I'm like oh like this happened in my life and it made me really sad. If someone told the entire school or like the entire world this, it wouldn't end me and no one would look at me differently. I would just kind of be like, well, I guess people know that sad thing that happened. So like I don't have that like movie thing where they tell everyone like this exposing secret.
It's not like a secret, I guess. It's more
No, I'm just like that's my reason because I don't think whatever I say, no one will like look at me different, or maybe I get treated like slightly as more fragile, I guess. But like none of mine will ruin my life, or like I'll lose family or like whatever.
Yeah,
that's like privileged, but it's kind of how I live.
I think I'm scared of it changing people's opinion of me more than anything.
Yeah,
I don't think there's anything that like people would hate me for. Like I don't think there's things that would do that necessarily. I think I'm just being overly cautious. But I do like it's I think it's kind of hard to get to know me at a deeper level, but eventually people do.
Yeah, I agree.
What's something you think's gotten better, Isabella?
I think that what's gotten better is just like Yeah, I don't know, like little things, like my fear. Oh, I used to have a really kind of not irrational, just a fear of like walking to my mailbox alone, or like just being in my house without locking all of the doors. And now I love being alone. So I think it's just kind of that fear of being alone is kind of going away. And then I think that gotten worse is just like my fear of the unknown has gotten worse, and just like not knowing things. I just hate not knowing things. So
Mm-hmm. Gloria, other than I guess you said museums.
Museums like roller coasters. I don't know.
Do
I don't like them.
you think quarantine has increased or decreased your fears?
Mine had nothing to do with that. Just like personally.
definitely helped with my fear of being alone, just because I had to be.
Same. I don't know if it was a fear. I just hated like not being. I guess I don't like being without noise or without something happening, but I'm better at like being physically alone than I used to be.
I was scared of it, but like in 6th grade and up, besides in quarantine because my parents now like work from home, so I would come home from school every day. My sister was always at musical or something, or she got home an hour later, and my brother got home an hour later, or something like that. I don't really remember why.
My parents have been leaving me alone in the house since I was around 7 or 8. I never really had an issue like being alone in terms of like being alone in my house because I've been doing it since I was a kid. So yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's still scary to like take a shower because I always feel like there's gonna be like someone waiting for me at like, I don't know, I'll close my eyes to like wash my hair or whatever, and then I have to open them like immediately to make sure someone wasn't watching me.
So like starting in 6th grade, I had to be alone for like an hour every day, which is like, whoa, an hour. But like, if you can do an hour, you can do 2 or 3. Like, you know, I kind of got used to it early on. So quarantine, I was like not alone, which is kind of worse because like there are things like I have a list of like things I do when I'm alone, kind of like a mental list, I guess. And like none of them I'll get grounded for, nothing horrible. It would be like, if I want to like do a DIY air quote project and like my parents are just gonna judge me for doing it, I'll do it when they're not home and they don't care about the outcome. I just don't want to explain what I'm doing. So like things like that.
Yeah.
I just like do when I'm alone. And when I don't get to be alone, I'm more like angry. So I like being alone.
I like being alone now, but when I was like younger, like I think my parents started leaving me home alone when I was like probably like 9 or 10. And like when I was younger, I like just like I liked it, but I didn't all at the same time. Or, you know, whenever your parents aren't home, you know, you can't scream driver's license by Olivia Rodrigo in your kitchen and drink coffee out of a wine glass. Like there are just things that you can't do whenever your parents are home. And
Do you think obviously we're like in some sense afraid of getting COVID because no one wants it, obviously. But do you think like you have like a higher or normal fear of like COVID?
I am very afraid of COVID.
This sounds like this is maybe not the best outlook to have, or like it's kind of my privilege, I guess, that I have asthma kind of, but the studies are showing that for kids it's, you know, fairly safe. So I'm more scared of, not safe obviously, but like not as symptomatic or whatever. I'm more scared of it doing one of two things: spreading it to my family or people around me who are immunocompromised or high risk. And then the thing I guess that I spend the most time thinking about or actively fearing is, I think I have a larger than normal fear of it shutting things down, because I can't do this virtual thing for much longer. I hate everything being virtual. School is a whole other issue, but mainly my extracurriculars. It freaks me out that I don't know when I'm going to get to do them in person. And I'm really missing that. So I'm scared of, I guess a lot of them have come true is one of the reasons I'm scared of it. Like a lot of the things I do, it was like, we don't know if we're going to be in person or virtual. And then it's like, we're virtual. So that was like, I was scared of it being virtual, and then it was virtual. So that fear has just been confirmed a lot, I guess, with things getting shut down. So that heightens the fear a little bit that it's kind of realistic.
Yeah.
So getting it, I guess, isn't my biggest fear. It's getting it and that meaning I can't do things, or that meaning I spread it to people who it would be really bad for.
I'm pretty confident in the health of like my immediate family, but things like teachers, I'm like scared that I'd like go to school and now there's 4 or 5 or however many classes I have that day of teachers that like have had our students, even those two. But like more so, but like also again with this fear, kind of like the judgment of it, because like if just I get it, I don't spread it to anyone in my family. I just had COVID. Like everyone gets like silently judged for it, because like all the people in my circle that have had it, their dad brought it. No offense to dads, but like they got it from work, so you can't get mad at the dad, and you're not gonna get mad at the kid because they just hung out with their dad. But like if I got it from like going to the grocery store, let's just say, then people could like say like, oh, she shouldn't have gone out and all. Like I'm more afraid of like the judgment of like how I got it, because I don't have any like health conditions, which like again things can happen. But again with the whole like being a kid thing, and that's like again a really privileged life to live, and like I'm very not proud, like thankful that I live this way. But that I guess just changes my fear on it because I don't have the same things like worry about.
Saran says that I should bring up that people are scared of me.
No one's scared of you.
No one is scared.
You're afraid of everyone else.
Hey, no, I think they're very scary.
Okay, I have to go really soon, so I'm gonna give my advice.
Okay.
Yeah, me too.
Okay. My advice is to eat fake cheese products. And no, but my advice is listen to your body. If your body is telling you that like you want food, or that something is wrong with you, or like other things, like listen to your body. Your body knows what it wants. Your body knows what it needs. Listen to your body. Okay, and on that note, I'm gonna listen to my body by going to a doctor's appointment.
Bye. Haley, what is your advice?
My advice is probably if you're feeling tired, like don't feel guilty, like take a nap or catch up on sleep or something to try to make yourself feel better. Okay, I'll see you guys later.
Love you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
The Two Woman Podcast.
Are we continuing? We're just saying our advice.
Yeah, we'll say our advice, I guess.
I
Your thing is so muffled, sweetie.
don't know. Like it's on a hard start. My advice
That's good. She's like quieter.
My advice is, even if you don't think you need to, do one of those like fake rebellious things where you sleep on the other side of the bed, or you like put your head where your feet usually go, or you shower with your clothes on, or you drink like normal drinks. I don't recommend water out of a wine glass, like Isabella said, because like you don't know why, but it just fills you with so much happiness because you're like, I'm drinking out of a wine, especially when you're a kid, because you don't get to like drink out of a wine glass. You're like, I'm drinking out of a wine glass. It's so fun.
Yep. I agree. Sleeping on the wrong side of your bed is like a total act of rebellion. I am going to advise you that getting through fears is kind of a day-by-day thing. So obviously a lot of them are going to be rational and like a lot of them are going to be irrational, but it technically is you and it is your body giving you those fears. And the saying that like time heals the heart or whatever is so annoying to hear because you never want to wait. But know that you'll be looking back on it like, whoa, that was a big time in my life, but you kind of move past it and you're not as scared of it anymore. So my advice is hold out. A lot of your fears will get better. A lot of them will go away completely. You might get new ones to deal with, but you're brave. Here's the cheesy Lauren advice of the day. Okay, well, our other two people have left us, so we're gonna say goodbye and not do this without them. So we hope you will go click all the links in the description. There's our Instagram, there's our website, there's our YouTube. We need your help on all of them, and a review on Apple Podcasts would be absolutely amazing. We will shout you out on our Instagram. it takes a little while from the process. So if it takes a little while, that's fine. But we love you, and we will talk to you soon. And see you on our next episode. Bye.